Hi guys! So today I'm doing a quick tutorial on how to do the triangle ends for your alpha bracelets. So we're gonna just jump right into this video. So here I'm just getting my bracelet all set up. I'm doing a vertical wave bracelet, so I have my two background colors and my base strings, and this will work with however many base strings you have. I think it looks better with like a lesser amount of base strings, but you can still do this with whatever you want. And an easy way to start this would just be to take your base strings and your background color and just tie a knot and then just start doing the triangle, start from there. But I don't like the look of that, so I like to do the stitched loop first. So there's a little extra step you want to do your stitched loop if you want to do it with the triangle end, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that really quick. So if you're going to do the stitched loop, then obviously start by making your stitched loop. And then once you like the length of it, go ahead and just tape it down, and you're going to want to do a forward knot or like a backward knot or whatever over all of your base strings with your background color to basically just like join all of your base strings together. And it will create this kind of like teardroppy shape, and this is also the equivalent of just tying all your strings together and not doing the stitched loop. So now we're at the same point however you're starting your bracelet. So to do the triangle ends, you're going to start with all of your base strings and one big batch of strings, and then just pull one base string out on either side of this big string cluster. I don't know what to call it. And then just take your background color and do a knot on the first single pulled out string, and then a knot over your entire string cluster, and then a knot over your other single pulled out string. And then for the next row, you're going to just repeat the same process. Take a single string out of your cluster of strings for either side, and then just go back and do a knot over now your two single pulled out strings, and then in the center your big cluster, and then your other two pulled out strings. You're going to want to pull pretty tight on the big cluster so that the knot kind of comes out somewhat decent. And then again, I'm just taking out a string on either side of the big cluster of strings and then just doing knots all the way across, and then just kind of keep repeating this until you no longer have a big cluster of strings. So that is how you start alphas with the triangle start, and I'll see you guys in a bit to show you how to end it after you make the bracelet. So here is the bracelet all complete, and now I'm ready to end it. So once you're ready to finish it off with the triangle ends, just obviously tape that sucker down. And I'm sorry, it's like foggy. I was messing with the brightness because I thought it was not going to be bright enough. So it's annoying, I'm sorry, but anyways, go ahead and just find the center 2 or 3 strings of your bracelet. It'll be 3 strings if you have an odd number and 2 strings if you have an even number. And just kind of section it off so you have like your first section of all your base strings, middle section of your 2 middle strings, and then your third section is like all your other like base strings. So just go ahead and do your knots over your first section of just all of your single base strings. And then once you reach your little middle section of 2 or 3 strings, just go ahead and do a knot over that entire section of strings. And then just repeat doing knots over every one of your single bass strings and like the last little section of strings. And then for the next row, we're basically going to just do the opposite of how we started it. So we're just going to take the middle section of strings and then just add a string to the little middle section from either side. So now instead of 2 strings, it has 4. And then just continue to do knots on your single strings first, and then the big section in the middle, and then the single strings after the big section. Again, you're going to want to pull pretty tight on the middle section, and try not to like deform your bracelet in the process, but you're going to want to kind of pull it so it's kind of tapers into a triangle. And then for the next row again, I'm just taking one of my bass strings from either side and bringing that into the center, and then just continuing to do my knots over my single bass string first, then the big cluster, and then the single string after. And then finally, when I have no more single bass strings on either side, I'm just taking my background string and just doing one knot over like the entire cluster to just really finish it off. And after that, that's pretty much it on how to do this triangle ends. It's pretty simple. From here you can like do your ties, do your button, do whatever you want to do to end your bracelet. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this.